Welcome back to another episode of WordPress Tutorials with Pixumweb. In today's episode, we're going to go over the editor functionality for the themes and for the plugins. Now, what is this feature? So, WordPress makes it very easy for you to check out the code of your specific files for the theme and plugins that you're currently using. This is not for the core of WordPress, but this is specifically just for the themes and for the plugins. So if you go into the appearance link on the left hand side and you hover and you navigate down to where it says editor, you're going to be brought to the currently installed and active theme style sheet. So you're going to see we're currently using the 2015 theme, and the style sheet is style.css. So these are the various files that are associated with the specific theme. As you can see, there's quite a few, and if you click on any of them, you're brought to those specific pages, and you can see the code that they have. So this is, seems to be a very nice feature to have, but there's a couple of problems with it, and I'm going to show you what those are in just a moment. If you navigate over here, you can see select theme to edit, and you can see you have your various installed themes will be here as well. So what is the problem with this feature? If you are a developer, then you are most likely familiar with the PHP code, the various functions that WordPress uses, and any custom functions that might be utilized to create your specific theme and the functionality behind it. But even experienced coders make mistakes. So what type of mistakes can happen here? So let's say you decide you want to play around with your WordPress theme and make some configurations and stuff like that. Let's say you go into your functions.php file and you're looking over the stuff, and it's late one night, or you're distracted with the kids in the background or something, something happened. So let's say that you inadvertently delete something without knowing, and let's say you did make some modifications that you did intend to make, and you think everything's okay. You update the file, and now you get the infamous white screen of death. What do? Do you click the back button? You try to refresh. Maybe you click the back button. Oh, you're there, right? So now maybe you could just go somewhere else, right? So no, you still have the white screen of death. So in this situation, you're now going to have to scramble, go either to your control panel of your hosting account, which I don't recommend editing files there either, or go to your backup of your site files, which hopefully you have at that point. If you have FileZilla, which is a free FTP client that you can use to download the files from your server to your computer, hopefully you've utilized that functionality. So we're going to go into my local installation. I have the files for this specific theme right here, and I know that on line 54, this particular function here, that's the function that I deleted. So I'm just going to put that back in there. So it's the 2015 _ setup function that I accidentally deleted. So now once I do that, I click save. Let's say you did this on your local environment, and on your remote server, you would just re-upload this file to your server, and everything would be okay. You would be granted access again. So now that I put it back in, I Command S to save it on my Mac, or if you're on Windows machine, you Control S to do that. Now we go here, and I'm going to refresh. So I'm back into my theme, and the world is okay. So I'm back in. So everything is okay at this point. So it's an easy fix if you take the proper prior precautions, like have a good backup of your files in your database is highly recommended. It's also highly recommended that you once in a while you FTP your files from your server to your local computer, so that way if something ever goes wrong, at least you have an actual physical copy of the files for your website. So now that's fine. So we resolved that. So what else can happen here? So now if your website gets hacked, let's say someone brute forces their way into the back end of your WordPress dashboard, they figure out your username and they figure out your password, and they're in there. What can they do? Now they can inject malicious code into your files. And this you may not be able to catch right away, and that's something to be mindful of. They can inject a rogue base eval function, something that will redirect them to another website that will, provide malware and distribute it, and ultimately can harm your site and can harm your website visitors' experience and potentially their computers as well. So it can cause a lot of headaches. So that's why by default on all my installations, it's just one layer of protection. But what I do is I disable this feature in WordPress. I disable it not only for the themes, but I also disable it for the plugins as well. Because if you hover over the plugins link and you go into the editor, you're going to see you're able to also look at the various files for the various plugins that you have installed on your website. So either you or a malicious person can accidentally or on purpose, change some of the code here that can have really detrimental effects on your website and your user's experience. And if something that you don't catch, what if you have a website that's down for a day or two, and maybe you haven't, maybe you're on vacation and you haven't really been checking up on your website. Now your users are experiencing a very poor user experience with a site that is no longer active. So that's a problem. So I disabled it. So how do we go about disabling this? The best thing you can do is you can, in your local environment, you have your config file. So in your configuration file, you can put in code that's going to disable the code editors. So you can put it, pretty much anywhere you want. I tend to put it at the bottom over here. You can make a notation if you want that, you're putting custom code modifications placed below. So you can do that just as a reminder to yourself. And this is the code that you will put in. Define, open parentheses, and then you will put the quotation, single quotation mark, disallow, underscore file, underscore edit, and then closing off the quotation with a comma, and then true, closing the parentheses and the semicolon. Don't forget that. So once you click on save, and then you go to your dashboard, hover over appearance, now you see you no longer have that edit functionality, that editor functionality for the themes, and you don't have it for your plugins as well. So this is a good tool. It's one layer in a multi-layered approach to protect your website from malicious attackers and from accidental mistakes. But it's one layer to protect your website from those types of situations. In my opinion, it's best to do most of your modifications to your themes, if you're going to play with the code, on your local desktop environment. And you should always have a backup of your files. You should have duplicate backups. You should have maybe something, a backup on an encrypted USB drive that you carry with you, or that you leave in an offsite location. These are tactics that are used by some big companies that we as individuals can implement in our daily lives to protect our websites and protect our peace of mind. So this is something that I highly recommend that everybody does to properly protect their website. They should inject this code into the wp-config file, wp-config.php. It's in the root of your WordPress installation, and you would just put the code in the wp-config.php file. And again, you can make a notation to yourself, custom code modification placed below, if you want to put something more obvious. If you're not too familiar with PHP code, you don't have to be scared about this stuff. I mean, it's pretty basic. PHP is a very well documented programming language, and there's plenty of support out there within the WordPress community, and in the examples placed not only on our sites but on various other developers' websites on how to work with this stuff. But just place this code there, and save it. You'll upload it to your server, and now you nor any malicious hackers will have the ability to alter the information via the theme or plugin editors in the WordPress dashboard. So it's just one, again, it's just one tactic that you can use to defend your website. And I hope that you heed this information and follow it, because it will definitely come in handy. Trust me, I've had it happen where at 2 o'clock in the morning, someone sends me a panic text message. A client will, text message me, and I do leave my phone on, 24 hours a day. And they tell me, what happened? My website's down. It's not working. It's just white screen. And then I take a look at it, and I see that alterations were made. I quickly resolve it, and then I let them know. But look, this is something that you have to be mindful of if you're gonna play with the code. Even if you are managing your website yourself, you have to be mindful of these changes and have these backups. So I fix it for them. It's part of what I do, but also I try to give them the good information they need to be able to manage it on themselves as well. I think it's empowering to website owners to understand what some of this stuff does, and that's why I want to share this information with you. So hopefully you found this information informative, and if you have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, as we'll be airing more episodes on how to manage your WordPress powered website, how to integrate social media into your marketing platform, and to how to take your online experience to the next level. So subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for the next episode. Till next time.